Okay, it's Henry again, and today I am beginning a very special project. This is the perfect grade Evangelion Unit 1. And I showed this kit off on Twitter and Instagram, and already people have been sending me RIP and "oh, I'm so sorry for you" messages, because apparently this kit doesn't have a great reputation, but you know me, I like a good challenge. I also like unique and obscure model kits, and seeing as how this is the only perfect grade Evangelion kit Bandai made, and actually the first perfect grade that Bandai made. Let's see, down here, crap. Sorry, this box is so big that it's really awkward to kind of do this unboxing video. So, copyright 1998, which I think is a full year before Perfect Grade RX-78 came out. But it's in the same size box, and very, very beautiful box art. Hand-drawn illustration from the movie, The End of Evangelion. So, I guess we'll do a tour around the side of the box. Side of the box, not a whole lot, just a shot of the model kit with one of the swords. Perfect grade Evangelion. Let's see, I'm going to have to move my camera because, yeah, you get the idea. On the edge of the box, we got some photos of the painted, completed kit. And this one has kind of a weird x-ray view showing some of the internal frame. We'll get to that later. Light up parts. It doesn't come with any batteries, but it does include light up parts for the shoulders and a little modification you can do to light up the head and the... No, it's the chest. But again, we'll get to that later. So, entry plug, sword. This side of the box is exactly the same as the other side. Perfect grade Evangelion again. And then on this side, just a sort of a profile shot of the model kit. Now, I'm labeling this video as Work in Progress Part 1 because this kit is a commission. Someone sent me this kit for me to paint for them. And, excuse me, the person who sent it to me had already opened up some of the plastic bags and cut some of the parts off the runners. So I didn't feel like I should do a proper unboxing video for this, since it's already been started technically. But I did want to at least include some semblance of an unboxing video in the work in progress. So, not everything's out of the bags, not everything's cut off the runners, just maybe a third of it. So, here's the manual. Very stark Evangelion-esque manual. Take a look at that last. So, right off the bat, what I have noticed is that this is a much less complicated, or much fewer parts, I should say. Much fewer parts than a Gundam Perfect Grade kit. Which makes sense, seeing as how Evangelions aren't robots, so there's not a whole lot of mechanical stuff to the internal frame. So as you can see, the person who sent this to me has already cut and cleaned and sanded the nub marks on a lot of these purple parts. Put those on the Ziploc bag. And I'll probably show off more of these in part 2, where I actually show the snap fit of the kit. Alright, here's a few yellow parts that he cut off the runners. Basically just the bottom of the feet, neck parts, stuff like that. Let's see, here is the umbilical cable that will run to the battery pack, which I'll show off when we go through the manual. It's basically just hollow, but a wire is going to run through there, which is not provided in the kit, by the way. Wait, where is it? Wait a minute. Yeah, it is. I forgot. I put that aside, thinking it wasn't in there. Anyway, it does come with wires and 2 LEDs and 2 little plugs, so that the umbilical cable will actually act as the proper power source for lighting up the LEDs. Got one tiny little chrome red part for the core. And here is a gray runner, kind of a bluish gray. This is going to be your battery case. And it's made to look like one of the portable generators from the anime. But it's going to house 2 AAA batteries. It's even got like the little... I'm not really sure what those are called. I don't know anything about electric generators, but point being, it looks like the one from the show. And then the umbilical cable will run from that and plug into the back of the Eva. Now this right here is part of the inner frame. This is an ABS runner in gray. Not a whole lot of detail, but it doesn't really need a whole lot of detail because it's all going to be covered up. I have a few little detailed parts right there. I think that's like the cover to where the entry plug goes, but basically just a structure to hold all of the outer armor together. We do get water slide decals and stickers with this kit. Water slides for a lot of the markings, but we get clear stickers for the 2 EVA Unit 1 logos on the shoulders. As you can see, those are reversed, so I'm thinking those are going to go on the inside of a clear part, so when the LED lights up, that'll show through that. And let's see, these are metal contacts for the battery case. Here's some screws, not nearly as many screws as comes with the other early perfect grades like RX-78 and the Zaku and Zeta Gundam. Those had a ton of screws. And here is the part that I think most people who have built this kit or have refrained from buying this kit are intimidated by. This is the rubber suit. Now basically, you're going to build the inner frame, and there's some more inner frame parts in here, and it's going to go inside this black, like, scuba diver suit. As you can see, it's got all these little nubs all over it. And those are holes that are going to be cut out. You'll just cut those out with a hobby knife or your nippers or something. And that's where the armor is going to attach onto the inner frame through the rubber suit to the structure underneath. So I'm thinking the best way to tackle this is going to be to mask all of this off and then paint the inner frame or the outer armor while this is masked, because painting rubber is not a good idea. Trust me, I learned that from Perfect Grade Wing Zero Custom. There's a little kind of a filler box. There's nothing in it right now. I'm thinking maybe the electronics parts used to be in there, but that's empty. And here we have a small runner of clear parts, actually just 2 clear parts. Those are going to be the it's kind of a clear smoke gray. Those are going to be for the shoulder, where that EVA Unit 1 logo I was showing off earlier is going to have the LED shining through. We do have some stickers. The eyes, 2 different stickers for the eyes. And then just some detail stuff like red parts for the mouth and green that goes in the collar area, I think. But I'm going to paint all that. Now, it doesn't have posable hands. It comes with eight fixed pose hands that actually look quite nice. Very, very good sculpt on these hands. There is going to be a lot of masking because all these little knuckle joints have to be painted a different color. Might actually be easier just to hand paint those. The only part that concerns me is that this is that flexible kind of plastic. Like, it's not polycap material, but it's definitely more flexible than regular styrene, which means cleaning up the mold lines along the edges is going to be a little more difficult, a little more time consuming. So here is a runner of green parts. Very, very nice. Still intact. And you have to paint that vent down inside there, so there is going to be some masking and hand brushing involved on this kit. Remember, this kit is over 20 years old, so it's not you're not going to get nearly the color separation that Bandai gives us nowadays. There's the palette knife and the palette knife, palette rifle, and progressive knife. And it's molded in kind of a greenish gray. I sort of like it. But I think that's actually also supposed to be in different shades of gray. So again, masking there. Black parts, that's going to be for the shoulder armor, obviously. It looks like it's going to be for the inner frame of the waist section, inner frame of the torso maybe. Oops, more black parts. Also shoulder armor. I think that's the cover for the core. Got a runner of bluish gray parts. There's the umbilical cable connector that's going to plug into the back. Chest plates are some parts for the jaw and the head. Actually comes with two different heads. You got the standard head, and then you have the unarmored head, which is not supposed to be this color. It's like a kind of a brownish gray with a little eyeball poking out there. And here's some more inner frame parts. Looks like the thighs. I'm guessing that's all parts for the torso. It's kind of hard to tell when it doesn't have any detail on it. And then lastly, a very large runner of purple parts. These look to be all sword parts. And these are actually supposed to be in multiple different colors, but they are all in purple. So there's going to require quite a bit of masking to do these. But we get sheaths for both of them, so both will be able to go in and out of their sheaths and be fully functional. So that is all the runners, and as you can see, it does not have nearly as many parts as a Perfect Grade Gundam kit. Now we've got that out of the way, I do want to take a look at the manual. So it's a very thick, it's a heavier paper than what we usually get. And it looks like this is going to have lots of illustration. Evangelion is, like the franchise in general, is very heavy on kanji. So there is a lot of Japanese and a lot of kanji used in here that I am not going to be able to read, because although I can read a limited amount of Japanese, I do not know a lot of kanji. So anyway, really nice illustration here. I think that's the Perfect Grade. I think it's just a heavily photoshopped image of the model kit. And then some other photos of the kit with some dramatic lighting. There you can see the LED that lights up the shoulder insignia. Again, there it is in a diorama. Really nice stuff. Now, as you can see from this photo especially, the difference in proportions. Nowadays, Evangelion kits tend to have slightly more human proportions. Their shoulders aren't nearly so wide. In today's, like in the Revive movies and in like the Kotobukiya and the real grade model kits and stuff like that. But back in the 90s, and actually in the original Eva show, they had these very, very wide shoulders and very, very, very skinny torsos. It was about the time that the End of Evangelion movie came out that they started having a little bit more human-like proportions. So, parts run down. Looks like they get us started off with the upper torso and the core plug assembly. There, they're already showing us how the LEDs are going to fit into the torso and go into the shoulders. How to wire up the wires that'll plug into the umbilical cable. Battery pack right there. Get sort of a gist of how that's going to work. Batteries will be in this thing, the wires will go through the cable, and then when you plug it into the model kit, the shoulders will light up. Alright, then they get us started on the rest of the torso and the rubber suit. So here they're showing you to use your nippers to cut off all these old nubs, and that's going to give you access points so that the outer armor can snap onto the inner frame through the rubber suit. And they just proceed doing that. There's the head assembly right there. Shoulders, arms, hands, shoulder armor here, showing how to store the knives in the shoulder armor. Then we move on to the legs. I like how he's got like little Evangelion socks. Finishing those up, and then moving on to the weapons. Palette knife, palette rifle, swords. And then it looks like we've got more photos, more information about the kit. As you can see, the core isn't hidden up under the little black part. You actually have to switch those out, so you can do one or the other. And then all the front, back, and side shots. There you can see all the different colors that those swords are supposed to be in, and that's all going to have to be painted. And then just various detail shots of the kit and all the different aspects and poses and stuff. More showing off the core parts, head, weapons, showing off some more details about the LED. Here's, I was mentioning earlier, there is an option for making the chest light up, and it says Evangelion Remodeling Expert Class, and I'm guessing this is showing you how you can modify the kit and run your own wires to the head and the chest and make the core part and the eyes light up if you were so inclined to do so. And then this all looks to be production sketches of how the engineering team came up with the design of the model kit before they actually put it in the AutoCAD system for the molds to be made. So really, really, really cool stuff. Perfect Grades always give you a lot of information on the development of the kit. And then this looks like to be a big old advertisement for all of the other kits in the series. All the LM high grade Evangelion kits. Also Sideshell, the Angel. And they all came with these little 1/20th scale character figures that you could paint. Also, I'm pretty sure that's the LM high grade as well. They also had inner frame parts inside of a rubber suit, but it was all molded together. You didn't have to assemble it yourself. And then the LM kits, which were smaller, about the size of a 1:144 scale kit, Gundam kit anyway. Not nearly as posable, not quite as detailed, but smaller, cheaper Evangelion kits. I'm not even sure that they make these anymore, but had those. And then you got the box art for all those kits as well. So that about does it. That was quite the unboxing, quote-unquote unboxing video. But that is going to be part 1 of this work in progress series. So now I'm going to go about the task of assembling this thing. I am pretty sure, since there aren't a whole lot of reviews of this kit, I'm going to maybe not do the entire assembly on camera, but at least show off some of the assembly process so you guys can get a feel of how unique this kit is among Perfect Grades and just mecha kits in general, because this is very, very different than the Perfect Grade. Very, very different than the real grade Evangelion kits, which are all the rage right now. But you know me, I like older model kits. Everybody else is building real grade Eva. I'm building a 20-year-old Perfect Grade. 22-year-old, actually. So, that does it for part 1, and with that, I'll see you guys next time.